What's good, everybody? Tyven here, straight-bettin, whatever the hell you want to call me. Guess I'm just making this little intro video before I like the actual video because, to be fair, I did kind of just vanish for the past couple months, and I know I was doing some MLB stuff here and there. Look, to be honest with you guys, I just needed a break from all this betting stuff, content. Kind of wanted to get my life more together, to be honest. I was doing this and having fun with it, but actually recently got a full-time job. So now I'm returning here for NFL. Really never liked MLB or doing like WNBA stuff. So just decided to take a break. Now, I do love this stuff. I love all of you guys, of course. I'm very grateful for everyone who watches. But to be frank, I don't know what my schedule is going to be like moving forward. This is obviously a futures video. I plan on doing NFL just because, only 16 games a week for NFL. It's not going to be super hard to be consistent and do content with that. But come NBA season, man, which is pretty much all the subs here, let's be real, I don't know how it's going to go. I just really don't because, like I said, I do work a in-person full-time job now. So that's just a little life update on me. But anyways, guys, if you guys are watching this video, make sure to like and sub. If you guys already subbed and you're still watching these videos, shout out to you, man. You're a real one, and I appreciate you more than you would know. With all that being said, let's get into the video. Feel pretty good that me and Connor brought some banger bets today. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Straight Bettin'. It's been a minute. I don't think I've posted a video since Game 7 of the finals, but here we are, man. Took a summer off of gambling, feel good, and ready for some football. Right here, I'm joined with my guy, Connor. Connor, how are you doing?
Good, man. Yeah, it's you took the summer off. That's refreshing. I've been jamming some like random WNBA and stuff like that, and a bunch of random stuff in the off season. But I mean, there's no better feeling than NFL. We got a relatively full board of props already for week 1. We got a ton of futures, so it's awesome to be back.
It's gonna be fun, man. But to be fair, with like that stuff, at least like you weren't like originating stuff in that. You had like the brain power to just think about futures and stuff. You weren't like originating WNBA and all that.
No, I was using you got the SharpStack stuff pulled up on the screen. That's what I was using, the SharpStack tool, to just jam some WNBA and some ARBs and everything there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of this, Connor, floor is yours, man. Quick, give a little shout out to SharpStack.
Yeah, super excited. 4 for 4. We just launched a new suite of betting tools called SharpStack. And I know you're on it and checked it out and you thought it was sweet. So super excited to partner together. But quick rundown on SharpStack. We have an EV tool that leverages sharp markets against weak markets. We were talking before the show. I think some of these weak books, just make a deposit and jam some of this stuff on here, and you can probably make a good bit of money pretty quickly without knowing a whole lot. And then you can track your bets. We track like CLV, ROI, expected value, live and when you bet it. We have an arbitrage tool, which is great. So obviously you can just like lock in profit. It's not for everyone, but I think it's like a good way to make some guaranteed cash. And then pick'em tool as well. So if you play on underdog, prize picks, pick six, we have all those supported right now. The same EV concept. Again, if something's minus 140 on a book and pick six is still posting it at the regular odds, like it's probably a good look. And that's exactly what it does. It just sorts through all that immediately. We have an odds screen and a prop screen for NFL, college football, MLB, WNBA, NBA, like basically everything. And then obviously you can track historical results as well. So that's, I think, key. Transparency is key. Walking through everything, seeing like how are home run bets performing at MGM an hour before close or 2 hours before, 4 hours. So we're still sorting through all the data there so we can have every market and see what performs best. But again, try to be as transparent as possible with our algorithms and how that's going. But so far, so good. Super excited for the launch this year. We got NFL coming up in a couple of days. I think it's being added, and then we're good to go for the season.
Let's get it. Yeah, guys. So obviously I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be tracking my results on this moving forward on like the videos and stuff going forward. And sometimes I think that we overthink things when it comes to betting. Like I think maybe it's ego or the sweat, but the point of betting is to make money. And I don't know if you guys are watching this are very familiar with top down or even like know what that means or anything, but it's basically just picking out the best lines. I mean, there's a ton of books that are not efficient, just like any market and stuff. And if you're just like serious about making money, like this is kind of the way to go. It's a very low effort strategy as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be tracking my journey with SharpStack and seeing how much money I can make with this. But anyways,
Yeah, I mean,
Connor, oh, you go.
no, I was just gonna say real quick, like, we talked about at the top here, like Hard Rock, has some random stuff. Like they had a, I don't know, what was it? Hayes, a touchdown prop was like -110 under 1.5 touchdowns. Pinnacle has it at -150. Bookmaker is at -140. Like the sharp books are telling you like, hey, should probably be -140, -150. Whereas we got some other books just asleep at the wheel, still hanging to -110, and just not moving. So it's like, things like that can make it a good bet. And, if you ever want more information, I'm sure, you'll have more information and like, using it more. And then obviously feel free to check out our channel. We'll have some tutorials and stuff as well.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick too, man, like even outside of SharpStack, I don't like the betting community honestly sucks ass nowadays. Like it truly does.
Yes.
There's
Rough.
not many like transparent bettors out there. And or pick sellers and stuff, especially come NFL season, dude. Like NFL is a very, very tough to beat if you don't know what you're doing. I will say, guys, if you guys are looking for people to tail, check out 4for4 because Connor, you're probably the best bettor I've came across. Most like thoughtful about it, honestly.
I
You and Ryan,
appreciate that.
yeah, no problem. So yeah, just like a genuine recommendation to check out their stuff too.
Yeah, and I think you got a code, right? 25% off if you use code SB. That works for any of our packages. So, feel free. The picks, the SharpStack includes the picks package. So it includes my more like originating analysis. I think that's what you do too, right? It's like we originate, we talk about target shares and routes and everything like that. Whereas instead of like SharpStack is top down, where it's like leveraging the markets against itself. So two different approaches. I think both very viable and different. But it's one of my first seasons using kind of both. I used sprinkled it a little bit in the off season, but yeah, using both is going to be a blast. So
yeah, and that's what's going to make you the most money. Because I will stand by this. Like there is something to originating where like you can't always just like trust the numbers. There's something to like
for
just
sure.
making bets. Cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, time for bets, man. Connor, the floor is yours. Give us a lock. Better not lose.
Let's go with. I'm gonna go with Breece Hall under 875 and a half rushing yards. Like we're looking at a spot here where Justin Fields is going to run the ball a lot. Braylon Allen is going to run the ball a lot as like the 1B. I think Breece Hall is probably a pretty good player, but the Jets seem a little bit concerned. We saw Aaron Glenn come from the Lions where he had the 1A, 1B approach with obviously David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And then the fact that the Jets probably are going to stink. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Their offensive line is not that good. And so how many games are they really going to be ahead and like just jamming the ball and running it? I don't think a whole lot. So there's a lot of outs here. He was already kind of like dinged up a little bit. There was trade rumors about Breece Hall. Like, could he be a trade deadline guy like before the end of the season, before like week 7, week 8? Like that's very possible too. And that always just like takes a couple games to ramp up. So like then that like adds to the under as well. So there's a ton of outs here. I would honestly play this. I thought this should be closer to like 800-ish, but do you have your projections up here? I'm kind of interested to see.
Can you see what it's at?
You have 749. Nice. Okay, 749 yards for Breece Hall. That's what I would have guessed. It should have been closer to like 800 at the over/under, and the 749 that warms my heart. I like that.
Yeah, and Connor, that's assuming health too, because I don't like that's it for 17 games. And so I was like literally staring this down last night, dude, and I was like, but I was just like, damn, I really like Breece Hall. Like
Same.
I really do think he's like a good player, but I mean, you made good points, and it's like, yeah, Braylon, even Isaiah Davis is going to get carries. The team's going to suck. Like they're just going to stack the box against the run because I mean, this passing offense is going to be the worst in the NFL probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, were you seeing the practice reports? It was like Justin Fields goes 2 for 10 today in the scrimmage. Like goes 3 for 8. Like there was a combined thing where he was like 6 for 25 or something like that in 3 practices and 11 on 11. I'm like, this is just there's no way this goes well.
Yeah. And Connor, I'm sure you're familiar with this too, but I mean, everything in the summer is just positive, positive, positive. If you seriously like hear consistent, like negative or even mixed reports out of camp, like you just kind of know that it's actually like way worse than they're letting on.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like there's, especially the beat writers. Beat writers are all, I mean, rose colored glass on everything, and then like if they're like, this guy sucks, or like, this is really bad. And if there's negative reports, I mean, it's tough scene.
Yeah, 100%. And so my first play is actually, I'm just gonna piggyback off this, dude. I took the Jets under 336.5 points, minus
Ooh.
105 at Caesars. And honestly, dude, because if you're looking at the projections, I like Garrett Wilson's under. I like Breece Hall's under. I like probably Fields under too, because he runs so damn much that him playing 17 games is a stretch. I just decided to fade the team, dude. So 336, if you just like, or 337 points is what they would need to go over. If you just like look at that as like a points per game view, that's 19.8 points per game. 7 teams last year, and I know there was down scoring and stuff, but 7 teams were 18.8, so a whole point below that 19.8 threshold and less last year. I'd personally be stunned if the Jets like weren't bottom 4 or 5-ish in points per game. And you kind of just made a ton of points, dude. Like Aaron Glenn, anytime there's a defensive coordinator, right? They just want to run the rock, like control time of possession, trust the defense, be conservative on offense. And like if you look at the passing game, like it's going to be atrocious, man. Like Garrett Wilson, I like Garrett Wilson, but he really hasn't had an efficient season. Like if you look at his yards per attempt, or yards per target, it's always like around 7. So Alan Lazard, Josh Reynolds is like a wide receiver too. I mean, that's a fucking joke. Like Mason Taylor, I don't know, man. I think this offense is going to stink.
Yeah, it's real rough. I like that look, the under points. I played under wins, and one of my first bets of the offseason was Jets have the worst record. I mean, the other thing too is like this defense was pretty bad last year. Like after they lost Robert Saleh, like their splits, like they were bottom 5 in like EPA, in success rate, like everything, points allowed. I mean, they were just getting gashed, and that was like pretty healthy. They lost DJ Reed in the offseason. I think they lost some edge guys. Like, I mean, I know Aaron Glenn's a defensive coach, so like probably they're not going to be as bad as they were, but like I don't know. I mean, Sauce was getting cooked out there. Like I don't know if he just checked out or what was going on, but like it wasn't good. So I think this team could be really, really bad. And like, I mean, Justin Fields playing from behind, you might think they might score more, but not really. He's just going to turn the ball over more. It's going to be just worse. Like it's not a good thing for him.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. This team, what do you think about Garrett Wilson, man? Like, because I totally get that his QB play sucked, but like, I don't know. He's really not efficient at all either.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I mean, like I think he's a pretty good player, but I don't know if he's caliber to be like an alpha wide receiver 1 in this offense. Like I mean, there just could be a lot of dysfunction. He's kind of been like a little bit of a diva in the past too. And like if Justin Fields is just chucking the ball out of bounds, which he's or in the dirt, I mean, accustomed to do, like I mean, he's gonna be pissed. Like it's not gonna go well again. So I think the upside is like, oh, he's the only target. I mean, you have penciled in for a 30% target share. So and he's still not clipping 1,000 yards. So
yeah, which sounds, maybe I'm like a little bit low on something, man, but I don't know, dude. Like I said, man, you think this team's gonna suck? I think this team's gonna suck. I think they're gonna suck on offense. You Breece Hall under, Jets unders, Garrett Wilson unders, dude. I'm all for all that shit. So
yeah, all the unders.
All the unders. All right, Connor, hit us with another one. Is it gonna be an under?
So I got 2 unders and an over just for, I don't know. I felt bad just giving out all the unders. Which one do you want first, the under or the over?
I'll play my under next too. So let's stay on the train of unders.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Devin Achane under 875.5 rushing yards. I like him. I know that Jalen Wright is a little bit banged up, and is gonna miss some time. I think Ollie Gordon probably sees some work, but it's kind of more of a team thing as well again. So I mean, Achane is good, but he's been injured. This offensive line is among the worst in the league. I'm a little bit worried about their passing game. Tua's health is always in flux. So like if he goes down, the running game and like the whole offense just stalls basically. So like, yeah, I think he's gonna have some productive games. He might see a lot of work early, but I think they brought in Ollie Gordon for a reason. They were going to use Jalen Wright before he got injured. So like, I think that we're going to see more Achane in the passing game and the receiving game, but I don't know how much rushing we're going to see. So it's just like really, there's a lot of outs here. So like, yeah, I think the median projection of what you have is fair. Like you're like 950 if he plays the full 17. That makes sense. That assumes no time missed, assumes, a reasonably efficient offense. It just seems like with his injury, with Tua's injury, with the offensive line being awful, like he's going to have to see a lot of volume. Like he's going to see a lot of volume and stay healthy for him to stay healthy the whole season. So it's just kind of a tough tough one for me. It was one of those things where I was like, okay, there's a lot of outs for this under. So it's not widely available right now. I think we're seeing DraftKings and then one other spot. So it's not something I've released personally, but it's something I've played, through the various outs.
Okay, so I know that like this is gonna say he's going over on a 17 game sample. Dude, I actually really like this play. So the defense is gonna be shit. They're gonna be passing a ton. First of all, these numbers, I have A-Chain projected to be efficient because I mean these numbers are assuming Tua, Tyreek, Waddle all stay healthy. Sure, if they all stay healthy, if they're all happy, if Tyreek doesn't crash out, if A-Chain himself, who has like a calf issue. I mean, this is just like an extremely optimistic outlook. Hence why I think that maybe I would only dabble in alts for like overs and stuff with them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there is so many outs, man. I mean, caps are no joke. We see what's going on in like the NBA with that stuff. Like, it's just a complete stay away. CMC last year, I mean, of course, that was like Achilles and stuff, but yeah. Ollie, I just don't think A-Chain. I don't know what your thoughts on him last year, man. I had a bet on his overs last year and they came through, but he didn't look good as like a number one guy.
Well, it wasn't the same. Like 2 years ago, he was so explosive. He was so efficient. He had like a crazy efficiency number. We knew that had to come down, kind of like we saw of CJ Spiller maybe 10 years ago at this point, where he was super efficient, got a featured workload, and then wasn't that good. I think that's honestly a reasonable comp. Both talented players. I think he probably is pretty good, but I don't know if he's as good as what we saw a couple years ago. And now you add in the calf issue too. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a little scary. Like it's one of those things where betting against players who get injured in preseason is just such like a profitable long-term strategy. Cause like these guys, I mean, they just get injured again, or they linger too long, or they play through it and they just suck. Like that's also a possibility too.
Yep. If Tua gets another concussion, misses half the year, the offense is just going to be like, he's going to be, oh geez. He's going to be struggling to average like he's going to have like a ton of like 11 for 22 games just because like the offense is terrible. So yeah, man, there is like a whole bunch of outs on this one, and yeah, I'm actually big on Ollie. I hope that his week one line. I'm curious to see what that opens up at.
Let's see. I don't know. There is an A-Chain one. I think they don't want to post the Ollie one because if he doesn't play, then I don't. Then like obviously they'll be like really exposed. Because we could just jam some Ollie props. No, I'm seeing A-Chain. It's 62, but it's against the Colts, so like I wouldn't play an under there. But yeah, an Ollie prop there could be interesting if you get. I mean, what would 20s, 15? Like that's probably what it's gonna be posted at.
Mm-hmm. And I would. That's what I'm looking for, honestly. I think that people forget how damn good Ollie Gordon was. Like at one point in time, he was the best running back in college football, and then he's not too far removed from that.
Yeah. I mean, what Doak Walker Ward, right? It's pretty good.
Yeah, gonna steal those carries from A-Chain. No, I do really like that. So much has to go right for this Dolphins team to not be a complete shit show, in my opinion. There is some upside for everyone, but I mean, also I have him for six targets per game. Small guy, he's gonna get a ton of touches. Definitely someone who could get hurt out there more than your typical workhorse.
Yep. No, I totally agree there. And I think fantasy-wise, he can be fine, catch a lot of balls, like you said. But yeah, I mean, the floor is just disastrously low.
Yep. All right, fading Connor. I'm fading your boy, your Chicago Bears. I'm gonna have a little take on the Chicago Bears. I don't
let's hear it.
Very good, personally. I'm taking DJ Moore under 1,500 yards. There's like 975s out there. I played this on good old Bet 365. But basically, man, Caleb was so damn bad last year. Like he averaged 6.3 yards per attempt. Looking back at it, he's another guy, Connor. A lot of mixed reviews in training camp. I know he looked pretty good in the preseason and stuff, but there's a lot of ups and downs with him. I'm just not sold on the Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson pairing. When you think about this, is just like I know ball take, I guess, but him and Goff are polar opposites. Guys like Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, they're good when they have like these, quick processors, accurate quarterbacks. Caleb just is not that to me. He's like tries to play off script, tries to be Patrick Mahomes and stuff, and it just doesn't work out. He's not a quick processor. So I am projecting him like for around 7.1 yards per attempt. Definitely think he takes a leap with Ben Johnson, but I just think that the market's kind of assuming that it's like a lock for this offense to be really good. And I just, quite frankly, don't really agree with that. There's a lot of target competition here. Maybe I'm a little bit low on his target share, but I'm a big fan of Loveland. He was drafted to be a stud, like 9th overall or something. You got Roma Dunze. I was listening to Matt Harmon, who I kind of just take his word as gospel, honestly, when it comes to wide receivers. And he was saying that he thinks that Rome is due to, maybe take over as a wide receiver one. I think that's in the range of outcomes. And then, yeah, I think that they'll throw to Swift a decent amount. Just overall, man, I am just pretty damn low on this offense. Think that they're going to try to establish a run. I'm really not a Swift guy on the ground, but think that that's going to be something that they want to do. So I don't want to put their pass rate too high either. And yeah, I just think there's a ton of outs for DJ Moore, man. I think that there's a lot of target competition. Even Luther Burden, I've heard some good things about him. Just think that there's a lot of ways for this to go sideways. I think that my projection for him at 850 is probably way too low, but at the same time, man, I still think that, when a number pops this much, when I'm projecting him to play the whole 17, I think I just got to take it.
Yeah, and they projecting him. I mean, he's probably going to see some snaps at running back too. Like, I think that he's going to be used more like kind of like a Deebo Samuel at this point, rather than like a deeper downfield player and like taking shots. I think Rome's going to play more of an X in some slot, and then just like Luther Burden will mix in. I think Zacchaeus is going to start actually over Burden in week 1. I feel pretty good about that. And probably the first couple of weeks, I think Burden will rotate in. Loveland, I think, is going to have a big role immediately. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not playing the over on DJ Moore. I think I'm a little more bullish on the offense than you are. It's not that I'm like, think they're going to be awesome. I'm definitely less optimistic than most Bears fans. But I do think that just some of the like stuff that Ben Johnson is able to install, like the easy buttons, like again, like the second preseason game, I think was pretty telling of like, oh, there's just like a guy open in the flat, or there's a guy open here, and if he's not open, there's another guy open here. Like, it's like those things that he didn't have with Shane Waldron. I agree with you totally on like the fit is a little bit suspect. The timing plays are probably not going to be there. I think there's going to be there's going to be some really bad games. Like, there's going to be some really rough games for them, probably most likely this year. But I think that this is a good building year for them. They're going to get better. They're going to be offensively and defensively. I think Dennis Allen was a good add, defensive coordinator wise, not a good head coach, but I think a decent defensive coordinator. And so I think it'll be a good mix. Like, I would say their win total in the market right now is very properly priced, if not maybe a smidge high, because their schedule is really tough. And I think that they could be like fine offensively and still end up like, I don't know, 8 and 9, you know what I mean? And like, and so I don't know. I think somewhere in between our opinions probably makes sense. I'm definitely not playing the DJ Moore over, just because I think his usage might be a little bit lower ADOT, and like there's been some just like weird peripheral stuff with like his body language and getting called out, and then like the running back stuff, and like I don't even know. Like, it wouldn't surprise me that much if like DJ Moore gets traded at some point this year or like next year for a team that like just really needs an alpha.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I probably am a bit low. Like Ben Johnson, he probably is one of like the top 5 coordinators in the league for sure. Like I said, I'm keeping my stance on the fit, and I think that running back stuff, I did notice that too. Like if he's using like Deebo Samuel short ADOT stuff, I guess the one thing that does scare me is if Caleb does get those timing routes down. I think that more, that year he had with Fields where he was just like a yak menace. Like if, realistically, like if that could happen, I think that could be like the death of this over too, or under.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it'll be close either way. Like, I'm very much a season-long under guy just in general because there's so many outs for the under. Like, I think too, there's just a lot of uncertainty around like the pass catchers. Like, all the reports are like, they don't know. Like, they're like, oh, we'll see what it looks like come week 1. I think that they're just like, it's kind of bland right now in practice. They're just installing like small things. And so we'll just see how it works. Like, again, I think it's just going to be very rocky, and there's going to be some amazing games against shitty teams. And like, you see, you play against the Chiefs and it's not working quite as well because, their defense is playing a little bit better, playing a little tighter. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what it looks like, but I would say I'm not like overly optimistic. I don't think they're going to crush right off the gate.
Yep. Another one I like too is Swift unders. I think that Swift unders are a very good look. I just don't think the dude's talented enough to keep a running back season or to keep like a high usage rush attempt or high rush attempt role for 2 years in a row, personally.
I mean, the last time Ben Johnson and Swift were together, what was his name? Jamal Williams had 250 carries to DeAndre Swift's 115. And then DeAndre Swift got traded for like a washing machine in the offseason. Like, I mean, this is like literally like Ben Johnson was like, I don't want this guy. The Hard Knocks stuff on Hard Knocks, like Deuce Staley, the running backs coach, was just like yelling at him, was like, you don't take any contact, you don't you could be the best running back in the league and you don't do this. And Swift like seemed disinterested like in all this stuff. So I think he starts. I think he's probably the 1A. I think we'll probably see a way more Kyle Monungai than what we think right now. Like I would not be shocked if we see like a drive of Swift, maybe another drive of Swift and round like 2, and then we get like a third drive of Kyle Monungai, and then maybe some goal line stuff from Roshan. So like and then maybe if Monungai's out playing Swift, which is very possible, that it's more like a 1A 1B situation by like week 3 or 4. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, or just trade for running back. Honestly, most like Bears seem like they care about their skill position players, and maybe a Breece Hall pops up on the market or something.
I keep thinking like ETN, Bigsby, Breece Hall, like all make too much sense for a team like the Bears right now.
Yeah. All right, Connor. Overtime, dude. I hope you don't cringe too hard when you're giving your reasoning.
No, it's so well, you might have touched on it on the top of the show or before the show. So, and this is like one of my favorite props that I just keep jamming. It's like the Cowboys stuff. Like, so it's Dak, 4,500 plus yards. It's 3-1 right now, plus 320. I think DK is the best odds. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. They trade away Micah Parsons. Their secondary was already suspect to begin with. Like, they had to rely on a like strong pass rush and like, creating turnovers to, I think, have any chance to be a good defense. Now Micah Parsons out, like that eliminates basically all of that happening. And so now we're at a spot where they get George Pickens. They have Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, and Miles Sanders in their backfield, one of the worst backfields in the league. So not going to be able to run the ball. They added like an awesome outside receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb. I mean, and then you look at the numbers, like Dak Prescott 2 years ago threw for over 4,500 yards. Last year, if you remove the game he got injured, he was on pace to throw over 4,600 yards. This is like with a much better situation all around. And so now you have a way better situation with like everything I talked about with Pickens, no running game, no Micah. Like, I know your projections are insanely bullish on him. Like, I think you said you have him at like 4,900 yards. I did bet him to lead the league in passing at 12-1. I think it's still 9-1. I bet on the Cowboys to score the most points at 28-1 yesterday. This is the Bengals, NFC Bengals, basically. This is like, they're going to just chuck the ball and they're going to throw the ball, and Dak passing alts are going to be an absolute blast in the season too. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, dude. You literally hit everything. Shit defense, like shit run game, elite pass catchers, Lamb and Pickens. I'm such a Pickens guy, dude. As long as he doesn't crash out, like I think he could go for like 1,250, honestly, maybe like 10 touchdowns. Like, I think he could have an awesome year. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I also played him to lead the league in passing at 9-1 yesterday, so I didn't get that 12-1 number, but right after the Parsons news, I'm like, yeah, this is like everything's coming to fruition for this team to just be. They're going to be the funnest offense to watch in the league, I think, dude. Like some good old times. We don't really see these teams like this anymore, with like the too high safety like thing that they're doing nowadays. But this team is going to be a whole lot of fun. I got them at 294 yards per game, Connor. I think that's a good median projection.
That's wild. The Cowboys don't play the Bengals, do they, this year?
I don't know.
I don't think so. That would be just the best game. That would be like back to the glory days of like over under in like the high 50s. Like, you know what I mean? We get like that would just be, I mean, the best. But yeah, it's still, I mean, even week 1 against the Eagles, I think is interesting. Like Pickens prop, you're looking at like low 50s right now. I think it's pretty interesting against the Eagles, as well. So like, I don't know. I'm just jamming as many Cowboys props as I can get. I have a ridiculous amount of exposure to them in my futures portfolio, but whatever. I'm dying. I'm living and dying with them.
Yeah, like you said it earlier, man. Like they're just gonna be the Bengals from last year. Like as long as they stay healthy, like the ceiling on this offense is truly gonna be a lot of fun, man. And I hope Javonte just keeps the job all year so they can keep on getting 3.2 yards per carry over and over again.
I think all these guys suck though. Like that's the thing. It's like they give it to Miles Sanders. He sucks. Yeah. Jaden Blue might not suck because he's obviously like a rookie, so we have just no idea. But I'm not optimistic on that. Like, and their offensive line is not good enough run blocking wise to be like a dominant unit where they can just like play bully ball or anything. Like not like they used to be able to. So it's not like they're going to make any of these guys look good. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not in on any of these guys. I think the passing game is the way to go.
100%. Speaking of the passing game, this is kind of a boring way to play it. But Jake Ferguson, dude, like I've took him over 550.5 receiving yards. I'm probably going to go back and take, because I played at DK, so I think that there should be a 750 around it
Yeah,
for
there
him.
is.
So I don't know what the price on that is, but I'll probably go back and dabble in that. Dude, honestly, like this dude, he got paid before Micah Parsons, so that's how Jerry's running things
That's
nowadays. So
hilarious.
really, clearly they value him. But no, in all seriousness, Dak's always been a tight ends guy. I mean, you go back to the Dalton Schultz era, who we now see like Dalton Schultz is like the epitome of like mid to like below average. Like he's nothing special whatsoever. Dalton Schultz, when he was a full-time tight end, he was around 48 yards per game over his career with Dak. Jake Ferguson so far with Dak is at 45.6 receiving yards since 2023 when he like actually took over as a tight end one. Now he has CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens gravity. Like this should easily be his most efficient season of all time. And I just don't think Dak's going to go away from the tight ends, man. So like I think that I know season long overs, it's like, oh, if he gets hurt, like honestly, dude, I think you can miss like 5 or 6 games and still get here. So I'm just playing this straight. I'm probably going to go back and add to the alts. Connor, I know you're not a fan of laying minus money on season long overs, but when I see a bet that I just think like this is like I'll look back at this and laugh, but like I just don't see this losing if I'm being honest without like a super bad injury. So yeah, Jake
That's
Ferguson.
yeah, I mean, this is it's a super narrow target tree too. So you're looking at like CD, Pickens, and then Ferguson, I think is like the clear third. But then beyond him, like I mean, Tolbert sucks. Cavante Turpin is fine, is like a gadget guy. Mingo sucks. Like Flournoy's, I mean, not even out there. He's probably not gonna be active most games. Like it's like they just have really like nobody else behind those three that can like is capable of earning targets. So I don't mind it. Like I think 550 is a pretty low number. Ferguson's gonna have some games where he sees like 7-8 targets when Dak's thrown it 45 times. You know, like that's gonna happen in some games. And so yeah, I think 550 is not a bad look. Generally, philosophically, you're right. I don't play just like minus 110 season long overs. But I think if you do that and add some alts, then I think it's fair.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'll go back and add the 750 because I do think that 750 is like you play 16 games like and this offense pans out the way we think. I think you could easily get there. So
Totally.
yeah, but the thing is with Ferguson, I mean Connor, dude, like I just had no clue like what the hell to do. Like I wanted to just play Dak, I wanted to play Pickens, I wanted to play Lamb, I wanted to play like I wanted to play literally everything. So I don't want to have like 10 units on the Cowboys just being like the coolest passing offense since like peak Mahomes, but yeah, man, I'm holding back the urges to do so.
You have Dak projected for more than 1,000 yards than his prop. His prop is like 38, 50, 3,900, something like that. So I think that's fun. I mean, I think you got to play a little bit of that.
Yeah, for sure,
There's a
man.
5,000 yard, or there was a 5,000 yard passing thing. But I don't think I loved like the odds. The odds like weren't that good, which is kind of weird. But
Was it like 10-1?
I was way less than that. It was like, at least that's what I thought. I'm gonna try and find it here real quick, but I might not be able to. It was one of those things where I looked at it and I was like, oh, 5,000 passing yards. Like I'm in. Like what's Dak Prescott? And it was like not that good. And I was like, this is some BS. You know, sometimes they kind of try and screw you on that stuff. Like you got to still be getting some value on some of these odds.
Yeah.
I don't see it up right now, but that's all right. That's funny.
Connor, one last thing before we head out and before I go back to cold calling blue collared workers. I want your take on Christian McCaffrey because I'm going to quick go to the projections. Dude, I have him going for like 2,000 all purpose yards. I just want your thoughts on CMC because his lines are absurdly low. He's been healthy the entire offseason. And I feel like this is just like a case of like Saquon and Derrick Henry's season long numbers last year. Like, oh, like they're gonna fall off. What's your take on CMC stuff?
I mean, I think he's a player who's like impossible to project. So I talked with our projections guy, John Paulson, about it a couple of times because if he stays healthy, I mean, the upside scenario is a smash. Like he's going to have probably 2,000 all-purpose yards, you know, bare minimum 1,500, and like be just an awesome player in whatever fantasy betting, doesn't matter. The downside is he like is just totally cooked or pops his Achilles week one, like that. Like this is like all very possible, and he's like a straight zero, or he's just washed at this point. Like these things are all in the range of outcomes. So like, I think he's a player who's like near impossible to project from a median standpoint because like the range of outcomes is so wide. Like he could legit be offensive player of the year and maybe even like MVP contender if the 49ers win like 14, 15 games, which I think is possible given their schedule. And he could also legit like barely play and they end up having like a 1A, 1B with Brian Robinson because like he just isn't as good anymore. Like that's in the range of outcomes, which is sad. But so I would play alts if you want to play him. I would say I would play alts. Maybe that's probably not a shocker after what I just said. But yeah, I would say just play the range like the wide outcomes. I would say.
Yeah, like his touchdown prop is low as hell. Like I could see. I mean, it's the Shanahan offense, dude. It's like I think him to score 10 touchdowns was like plus 250 or something. I'm like, dude, if he plays like 13, 14 games, he's probably getting there. Yeah, so CMC is just someone who I came super ahead of market on. And then I want one last take from you, Connor, too. Seattle, I am having a very tough time deciding on which prop I want to do. I am so high on this rushing offense with Clint Kubiak. I think that Kamara going into last year was like complete. Like I thought he was going to be completely awful, and he was actually really, really good. But I'm thinking that's a Kubiak thing, and I think they're just going to be really run heavy under McDonald, like really the polar opposite to what they were on Ryan Grubb.
Yeah, I think the bull case is a good one that you just made there. I think the bear case, like the downside, is that the O-line sucks and that Sam Darnold can't move the ball under pressure because like he's been like historically bad under pressure. And the offensive line pass blocking wise is not all that good. So like that's the downside is like they just don't move the ball that much. And like the run blocking unit is not that good. Now they switch schemes and like it's been really positive in the preseason. I think Kenneth Walker's an absolute dog. I think Zach Charbonnet is really good. Like I think the bull case is there. I think that's the downside is also there of like, because you can look at it, you're going to be looking at a week 8 and be like, oh, of course, like this is the most obvious smash ever because they changed everything and like, whatever, like the scheme is way better. Or it's like, yeah, this is like the 27th ranked offensive line and Sam Darnold is the quarterback. Like, no shit, they're going to be terrible. So like, that's the problem is I think you're going to look back in hindsight in one way or another and it's going to feel very obvious, but I just don't know which one yet.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm currently deciding. I really like Charb's overs and his alts too. I just think there's reports that said that it's going to be almost like a 1A 1B thing. Also, let's be real, Kenneth Walker with his foot seems like kind of a guarantee to at least miss a couple games here and there, and we know that Charb's is going to be like a complete workhorse when that's the case. But Sam Darnold unders, do you think there's a chance we see Milroe without an injury? Like, do you think that's in the range of outcomes?
Not really, just because I was looking more into the contract and they have like a 1.5 year guaranteed money, I think, or maybe 2 years guaranteed money. So like if they go away from him now, they basically are on the hook for a whole other year. So like he would have to be really bad.
Like a Kirk Cousins scenario.
Yeah, like it would have to be like that. Like you'd have to be like catastrophically bad of like, and Milroe would have to be good in practice, which I have no idea. Like we don't know if like he's good. And it's not like they sunk that much draft capital into him. So yeah, I would say probably not. Like initially I thought it was possible. Now I'm kind of like shied away from it because like the contract. Then they give him a year at least. Maybe a 1.5 years. That's what I would say. I'll go a 1.5 years.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just still living over that Saints week 1 and week 2 from last year, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that was so great. That was like everyone thought that Clint Kubiak was like the next like for sure head coach. Like the Saints were cooking. It was great. And then obviously disaster struck.
Yep. Anyways, Connor, I appreciate you a ton for coming on and joining. Like I said, guys, I truly like I'm not even just like dick riding because he's on the show right now. I do think that Connor and 4for4 are the best prop bettors like that are in the public eye, So if you guys are looking for like some good tails, go to 4for4.com, check out their picks, and of course SharpStack. Like I said, man, we sometimes overthink betting, and at the end of the day, we're trying to make money. Like, yeah, we want like the dopamine rush, as sad as it sounds to say, but at the end of the day, these top-down betting is a very safe way to just up your bankroll and stuff and start betting more on props that you do want to scale up on. So Connor, anything else you want to say before you head up?
No, man, I appreciate you having me on. This is fun. All of our picks are going to hit. So anyone who's listening, you come back. We gave you way more than 6 picks. I think we talked about like 10, probably to 15 total, including some of the random side ones. So It's perfect. You know, we're gonna go 10-0, and we'll see you guys all. You know, see you guys all soon.
Yep, we'll be victory lapping when Dak Prescott breaks Peyton Manning's passing records and shit.
That'll be great. Yeah, 5,500 yards.
Yep, and it's all going to Jake Ferguson.
Amazing.
All right. Well, Connor, once again, appreciate you coming on. Best luck on the NFL season. Not like you need it from me or anything, but yeah, it's gonna be a fun one.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.